Today's episode is sponsored by CruiseLine.com, where you can review cruise prices with easy-to-use cruise search. Check them out in the description below. Hello to all of you in our wonderful cruising community. Let's talk about saving a little money on your cruise. It's all too easy to spend too much. Trust me, I speak from experience. But with a few tips and a little planning, it's easy to avoid. Whether you're a first-time cruiser or the crew on your favorite ship knows you by name, these cruise travel mistakes can cost you a bundle unnecessarily. The number one mistake we see cruise travelers make is not buying travel insurance. Travel insurance doesn't have to break the bank. Consider signing up for a travel credit card that offers built-in travel insurance, or consult your travel agent on the best policy for your trip. Many travel agents can price and pick different policies for different situations, so use their expertise to your advantage. Regardless of how you purchase a policy, it's super important to read through what's covered and what isn't. The good news is there are lots of plans to pick from the most basic to the most comprehensive, so there's a policy for every budget. Trust us, don't skip this investment. Number 2. Tipping too much when you've already paid for gratuities can be another costly mistake. Don't get me wrong, you can most certainly offer a few extra bucks to any bartender, server, or room steward who goes the extra mile. We do it all the time. But educate yourself on whether or not you've already paid for their gratuities. Because most cruise lines automate gratuities for most service staff, this can totally be confusing. We get it. The most common situation new cruisers face with this mix-up is with cruise line drink packages and bar and other drink purchases. Chances are, if you purchased a drink package or just one drink at the bar, you already paid gratuities on your drink. It's automatically added to the bill. What trips people up on some cruise lines, not all, is that the bar staff will print off a receipt for each drink where you can add an extra tip. It can get tricky, see what I mean? While we're on the confusing topic of tipping, there are a few unspoken times when you may want to consider tipping in cash during the cruise. The first is the luggage porters when you check into your cruise. $1 to $2 per bag is customary and generally expected. Also, it's a good idea to tip a few dollars per room service delivery on a cruise. Just a few dollars go a long way. All right, number 3, let's talk about another costly issue, and that is parking at the cruise port. This is a tough one because when you're driving to your cruise, parking right next to or at the cruise port is usually super convenient. And we're not saying you shouldn't do it, but we do suggest you research alternatives before your cruise. At the time we filmed this episode, summer 2019, it will cost you an average of $15 to $20 per day to park at some of the most popular cruise ports in the United States. For a 7-night cruise, that can mean a total of up to $140 extra that you may not have budgeted for. In most port cities, you will have other options. Try doing a price comparison on how much it would cost for a park and cruise hotel near the cruise port, or check out less pricey parking lots adjacent to your cruise port that maybe offer a shuttle. If you live close to a cruise port, consider having a friend or family member drop you off or check into Uber or Lyft or a shuttle for a ride. In any case, be aware, you have options. All right, number 4. Seasoned cruisers will likely tell you that booking all of your shore excursions with the ship just isn't always necessary. There are good arguments for booking your activities directly with the ship. We do it all the time, but you should know that you have many other options. Ship-organized shore activities can be more expensive and often more crowded. Of course, they also offer the security and a guarantee that your ship won't sail without you if your excursion is delayed. But most outside tour providers offer the same assurance, and some will even pay to get you to your next port if there's a delay or an issue with your excursion. Just know that you can book excursions on your own. Just do some research, read those customer reviews, and always leave plenty of time before and after the excursion to get on and off the ship. This can save you tons of money and offer you less crowded tours in many cases. Oh, number 5 is a painful mistake that just breaks our heart. Scheduling a morning flight on disembarkation day is a recipe for stress, friends. While most cruise ships glide into port right on time, things can and do happen to create delays. Speaking from experience, we've been on a few cruises where weather delays and even medical emergencies have delayed our return to port by a few hours. Those passengers who booked flights before noon on debarkation day were in a world of hurt, trying to make last-minute travel changes. If you can, book your debarkation day flight home in the afternoon, or better yet, plan for an extra day after the cruise to enjoy the vacation and lessen the rush. If you don't, go back to tip number 1 and make sure you book travel insurance that covers this type of situation. Don't risk costly airline change fees by making this mistake. All right, before we sign off today, we have a few bonus tips for you. First, don't miss the ship. Have you ever heard of a pier runner? A pier runner is that person or group of people you see frantically running toward the ship, a little too close to all aboard time. Don't be that person. Set your watch to ship time, read your newsletter, and don't literally miss the ship. It happens, folks. All right, next bonus tip. Remember to put your phone in airplane mode right when you sail away from your port. You don't want to stay connected inadvertently or incur roaming charges on your cruise. If you're traveling with kids or teens with their own phones or devices, have a chat with them about this too. And our last tip, don't forget to check your ship account for errors or even for onboard credits. Take a peek at your account early in the cruise here and there and head to the passenger services desk if you see anything that doesn't look quite right. Don't wait until the last day unless you want to be in a massive line with all those other people who waited a little too long to check out their shipboard account. Well, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode and it helps you to save loads of money and, more importantly, sanity on your next cruise. If you found this helpful, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the high seas.